everyone. Welcome back to the NetApp on NetApp Roving Reporter series. I'm your host, Darcy Pittman from the NetApp on NetApp team, and I'm excited to welcome Stefan Stelter today to the video series to talk about an exciting new NetApp product, BlueXP. So just as a reminder, at NetApp on NetApp, we are independent from marketing and products. So this is just kind of our independent take in IT, separate from all of those organizations on what BlueXP is. So Stefan's going to give his take, which is a great part of what we do here and the goal here with the Roving Reporter series. So I'm really excited to hear his thoughts on BlueXP. So Stefan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Darcy. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here. I have been with NetApp for 11 years, always on the technical enablement side for our partner community. I'm currently leading a team of engineers, partner technical leads that cover our partners on the East Coast of the United States.
Great. Well, and we gotta shout out the Cloud Chat podcast. Stefan hosts our Cloud Chat podcast with Matt Brown, the Senior Executive Director of NetApp on NetApp. So check it out if you haven't.
Yes, like, subscribe, do all of those things to that as well as to this. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. It's a good time, and we have an episode where we mentioned BlueXP that'll be coming your way soon. So
Indeed.
let's get into it.
Yes. So BlueXP.
Yes, exciting
Super
stuff.
Fun. Super fun.
BlueXP was announced at the recent NetApp Insight Conference 2022, and there's been a lot of excitement about it and this new term, evolved cloud. So can you tell me a little bit about what this term means and NetApp's journey in the cloud?
Sure. Yeah, there are some very interesting numbers shared as part of the Insight conversations in the keynote, and those are always fascinating to me to understand how the industry looks. And there was a survey done, I believe, back in 2020, asking customers if they're going to be in multiple clouds. How do they think about multiple clouds in their environment? And 89% of respondents indicated that their strategic direction is to be a multi-cloud organization. It's amazing. 2020 is not that long ago, but I think people's thoughts have evolved in a sense since then. There was less of a, hey, it would be a good idea to have a strategy to have multiple clouds. And now it's very much a reality where it's not a, if we do clouds, we're going to have a multi-cloud strategy. It's more of an, oh my goodness, we have multiple clouds. We are not just in AWS. We are not just in Azure. We are not just in GCP. We actually have multiple workloads in different clouds, as well as our own on-premises journey to the cloud and building our private on-premises cloud infrastructure. So that bit we look at as an evolved cloud. It's a state where customers are facing this new reality of multiple clouds and all the joy and fun that multiple clouds can bring. You think about the expertise required to be proficient in one cloud. It's no small feat to become certified in AWS, for example, or Azure GCP. And so now you have to maintain staff with high levels of certification across all of the clouds that your organization supports. How many individuals do you do? What do you do to simplify that? That becomes the question. And how do you manage the evolved cloud? How do you drive toward some of the original intent of cloud, driving towards some simplicity, some automation, some security approaches, data protection? How do you think about all of these things in this evolved cloud state?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a lot to think about there for sure. And thinking about that, how does BlueXP enable this evolved cloud state?
Right, that's the natural connection. How does this work? How does NetApp, what role does NetApp play in an evolved cloud state, in a multi-cloud environment for a customer? And those who know NetApp well are aware of our proficiency across the clouds, our native functions in Azure and AWS, or first-party services, ANF and FSx for NetApp ONTAP, but also our breadth of offerings in those clouds with CVO and our ability to synchronize data into and out of the clouds with Cloud Sync. So these things become areas that customers want to understand how to manage more simply, and that is something that BlueXP delivers upon as a framework, as a control plane for these data services. in the cloud, but also on premises. So it's taking the cloud conversation, the multi-cloud conversation in its entirety. It's not saying, well, it's just about Azure plus GCP or AWS plus Azure. It's really about on-premises private clouds that are powered by NetApp or powered by other vendors' hardware. How do I measure? How do I understand it? How do I improve it? How do I automate it? And these are all things that we can do with BlueXP as a control plane and offer the rich data services both on premises and in the clouds. So into this true evolved cloud state, we're able to bring all of those services and capabilities.
Wow. Okay. And so my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it creates a more cohesive ecosystem for your cloud. Is that correct?
Exactly right. If you think about it, something that you want to automate, if you automate it in BlueXP, it is something that can then be automated regardless of where the cloud endpoint is, whether that be an on-premises item or an item in one of the clouds. You end up speaking the BlueXP vernacular, and that gives you the ability to talk with all of the clouds, again, including the on-premises capabilities that you might be interested in managing.
So I know, you mentioned a few different elements, but what would you say are kind of the key features that you're excited about seeing come along with BlueXP?
Yeah, I really like the way that BlueXP organizes things in a way that doesn't give you an association to a particular capability. I think in the past there were elements of NetApp's capabilities that had a naming convention that would really drive toward conjuring a very specific use case only. And because BlueXP is such a generic thought in the way that the naming works, the specifics underneath it become the capabilities that customers will attach to. So I get really excited about how that is going to help broaden people's perspectives and take down some of the preconceived notions around what NetApp can deliver its customers. So very excited about that. And of course, for me, there's some very specific capabilities inside of BlueXP that I get excited about for customers. When I think about our observability features inside of BlueXP, these are traditionally known under the Cloud Insights moniker, but this idea of being able to inspect your non-NetApp infrastructure, your cloud infrastructure, as well as your NetApp resources, and create dashboards for chargeback, showback, shameback, be able to deliver that inside of a single pane of glass is a wonderful thing. And to now have that with BlueXP be adjacent to some of the other things that are also vendor agnostic, like Cloud Data Sense, where we can inspect the data and work on the security aspects, the really the governance elements of data sets, regardless of where they live. We're able to inspect those with our capabilities inside of BlueXP. And then one that's maybe a bit more traditional that I'll share, the last one that pops to mind for me is just this thought of the end user customer experience consuming traditional NetApp infrastructure, buying, say, an ONTAP powered array and deploying that on premises in their environment. And instead of their first stop being, let me engage with the management console for that physical hardware, they instead go into BlueXP and import that system into the BlueXP canvas. And now they're able to interact with our digital advisor capabilities to help them understand their data protection posture, their threat posture, and leverage the other capabilities that I mentioned, and just have that all be exposed within the BlueXP console. So that is a really exciting capability, and one that I think customers are going to really enjoy taking advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's really going to help customers in a lot of different ways and streamline things. I've heard that the XP part of BlueXP stands for experience. What exactly is the experience that we're hoping customers have with BlueXP?
Yeah, right. The NetApp Blue is our historically well-known color that you associate with
Oh, I
NetApp is
didn't even get
blue.
that
Yeah,
part.
for sure.
Okay, so that's
Yep.
in
So you
reference
get
to.
NetApp Blue, you get the NetApp experience, so Blue
Okay.
XP, and we're really driving toward this ability to handle the evolved cloud, help customers in that multi-cloud experience. So that's what they're going to get, is this consistency of APIs and behaviors that they can then stand behind regardless of how they're using the various clouds on premises and in the hyperscalers today and where they might go in the future. So this ability for the portability, for cloud bursting, for workload bursting, all of that is tied so very nicely together as part of the Blue experience. BlueXP is this umbrella of that experience that folks will have as they engage with the different capabilities that NetApp is offering. And those backup and restore, tiering, these things that have very logical, approachable, understandable names that sit underneath the vast BlueXP umbrella, if you will.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I hadn't thought about it in that way. Yeah, it's definitely different from like cloud volumes on tap. Much more
Right.
specific name. Right.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that tucks in under BlueXP, and we're able to group them as a result of grouping on-premises things, cloud things, data management capabilities, and those are all capabilities that customers will want to engage with as part of their NetApp experience, their BlueXP.
Yeah. So speaking of really specific names, one thing that I've heard a little bit of confusion about is how does Cloud Manager relate to BlueXP? How can you
Sure.
compare them? Are they similar? Are they different?
Yeah, I think
What do you think?
it's a very good question, and I think folks who know NetApp and have been exposed to Cloud Manager think of BlueXP as an extension of what Cloud Manager could do. But that illustration of naming, I think, is one part of it that is important to understand. If you want something to go beyond what it's been traditionally known to do, you want to be able to articulate what it does in a more comfortable way. And having things be tucked under Cloud Manager, if we were to instead have taken the approach where instead of calling it BlueXP, we'll just call it Cloud Manager, and then we'll add these broad new capabilities underneath that umbrella. It doesn't connect well for folks who aren't familiar with what Cloud Manager could do for them. BlueXP is a directional capability with this control plane that goes beyond what people would see as Cloud Manager stitching some things together. It goes well beyond that with BlueXP, and I think it's absolutely appropriate for us to have that larger umbrella and be able to house these more things and have it not be limited by the name and the association that might have
Mm.
otherwise been conjured.
Okay, yeah, thanks for clarifying that. That helps a lot. So much exciting stuff.
Yes, it's super fun. It was fun
Yeah.
to hear customers talking about it at Insight and talking about the value that NetApp brings uh, with all of our technologies, and then in particular the way that we're organizing them. I think it's really getting customers excited.
Yeah. So speaking of customers, what can customers do to start utilizing BlueXP if they're not already?
Yes, this is a great question. And at the outset, we were hinting at, well, is BlueXP a product or not a product? BlueXP is free. So there's engaging with the BlueXP console is something customers can do today. So if you have NetApp, if you don't have NetApp, you can go to bluexp.netapp.com, sign up for an account, and start to leverage the capabilities that BlueXP offers in your non-NetApp environment. Right? If you don't own like a NetApp, you can still leverage BlueXP to help you understand your environment better and explore how NetApp technologies can assist you as you manage and navigate your multiple cloud, evolved cloud state. And so when you start looking at, okay, so how does this, it can't all be free. You talked about a whole bunch of things that sound expensive. Well, they certainly sound like they deliver a whole lot of value. And that's a piece where NetApp partners can help NetApp customers, help customers in general, leverage NetApp technologies. So the procurement of the underlying technology, if you want to explore your storage estate from another vendor, you want to get instrumentation on it, you want to do that single dashboard view of things that I mentioned earlier, chargeback, showback, shameback for compute and storage in a multi-vendor environment. That's through our observability function, Cloud Insights, and that's something that a NetApp partner can help you understand what the costs are associated with it. But you can test drive it today for free. And again, the BlueXP, the overarching control plane is free as you unlock the different features that you find relevant in your environment. That's where costs will be incurred.
Wow, that's really amazing that it's all, free access. So there's no reason not to go and set up an account. Like maybe I'll go set up an account and figure out how things are
You
working.
should. I encourage everyone to do so. If you've tuned into this episode of the
Yeah, maybe I
Roving
wouldn't have as many
Reporter, that would be
questions.
amazing. There you go. We would love for you to try it. It is, give us feedback. We're here to evolve and help solve the evolved cloud state for customers. Make it easy, simple, secure. So I'm certainly very excited about it. I thank you for the opportunity to share my
Oh,
impressions of
my pleasure.
clouds.
I mean, thank you for joining us and teaching me a little bit more about BlueXP as a new offering. A lot of us have questions, and it's exciting to share with our audience. I feel like I said exciting a lot in this video, but I mean, it's the word to
Well,
represent
if
it.
you're excited, you can't not be. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. So, all right. Well, stay tuned for the Cloud Chat episode where Stefan talks about BlueXP. That's coming soon. And then subscribe if you're not already. Stay tuned for more videos in the Roving Reporter series. And thank you so much for being with us today, Stefan.
My pleasure, Darcy. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everyone.